Good morning, everyone. Brian here again with BMK Retro Gaming. My apologies if you can hear a little bit of background noise. That would be my little personal space heater that was featured in my a mysterious fortunate occurrence video some time back. Ooh, hair still. Fortunately, I'm going to get to see my barber hopefully early next week. But anyway, apologize if the background noise in there is a little coming through. This morning I have for us the review of the ColecoVision prototype game, Dig Dug. Now, Dig Dug was originally developed in 1982 by Shuichi Fukantani, that's Shouichichi Fukantai, and Toshio Sakai, based on a game design by Masashi Igami and Shigeru Yokoyama. Basically, Mr. Ikegami had worked on some other game developments for Namco and wanted to put the protagonist for a next game in more of a predatory role, where he'd actually be going after the enemies actively. And, well, he didn't really want to use just like a standard blaster or something, as experimenting with new and interesting game concept types was a thing then. And so what he did was, one day while riding his bike, I forget, I think it was either to or from work, he had to stop and air up a tire, and reminded himself to not use too much or he might burst it, which struck him with inspiration for an air pump as a type of weapon in this next game. And so, that was developed and released in the arcade cabinet original in 1982 by Namco. Then, of course, it got ports for a lot of other, a fair number of different home video game consoles and platforms, home computers. But in 1983, Atari Incorporated, or Atari Inc., was working on publishing through their label Atari Soft a port for the ColecoVision, which was supposedly, from what I could tell, slated for release in '84. Of course, why it probably wasn't released, it probably has to do with a combination of the 1983 North American market and industry crash for video games, and probably also Coleco making it known somewhere along that timeline that they were getting out of the business, which they would have done somewhere around the area of 83, 84, somewhere in there. Though the ColecoVision technically held on, through most of 84, And from what I've understood through research, you could still find them, firsthand, for sale in stores, though probably discounted, bargained, up to about the time around when the Nintendo NES and Atari 7800 were releasing in '86. It was only around that point that they started to really be something you'd find secondhand, have to go in and ask, as a more specialized item, or look in more secondhand type store sources for. Even though, after '84 pretty much, or so, somewhere in there, is when Coleco had mostly dropped their support and discontinued it. You could still find it up through around '86, like I said, still, in a lot of cases, you could still find it as a first-hand item. Sorry, my head's had to think for a second. Anyway, the whole game is based around the character of Dig Dug, who we would find out in later games and all technically has a name of Taizo Hori. Going after, he digs around, and there are these creatures with goggles called puka, which don't do much. And then there are these green dragon creatures called Fygar, and what he does is, if he can dig where a boulder above will come down and crush them, he can get rid of them that way, or he can use his air pump to basically snare them and then pump them full of air until they burst like some type of balloon. And it's a pretty well-known and good game. I recall I reviewed the Atari 7800 port some time back. I don't think I went into it this thoroughly at that time, though, so I wanted to make a point to be a bit more thorough about some of, the game's background and history here before we get into it all. Anyway, in this case, since it was an unreleased prototype game, I don't have a physical copy. As with a lot of these, the announcement post image was just one taken, a stock image I was able to find that would work. So, it looks, to give a nice presentation, a nice look on that. And instead, I have a digital download of the game ROM on the collection for my ColecoVision Phoenix, which we can use to emulate it. So I'm going to get a set with my ColecoVision Phoenix, and we're going to take a look into the gameplay. Okay, so here we go with the Dig Dug ColecoVision prototype from the Atari Soft. The controls are pretty simple. Just use your main joystick, mini thumbstick to move, and the left button is your button for using your weapon, your air pump, whereas the right fire button, as far as I have been able to find, doesn't seem to do anything. Let's get her powered up. The prototype. Second one down. Here we see it's got the Atari Soft. It says 1982, 1982 Namco, 84 Atari. One player novice, seems like a good idea. Okay, it looks pretty good. Obviously, the ColecoVision color palette is in use here some, which shouldn't be any surprise to anyone. That would be pretty much what you would expect. Darn it, got killed by a pook already. Okay, well, I don't like to die on the first screen, so... Oops, wrong thing. We're going to do this start over again real quick. I hate it when games let you just want to kill you off on that very first screen. That seems so unfair. Or on the first level. I have to be selective for which enemy you choose to go for exactly because, as we've already seen, the others will try to come after you before long if you're not careful enough about it. I'm not going to do it that way. Forget it. Do it one more time. Hopefully I can get it right on this one. There is a certain way to do it in the right order, which will be much more successful. Unfortunately, I'm not very good always figuring out what that one would be. There we go. And here's one other thing, too. The last enemy always tries to come to the top of the screen and escape, so you have to try to intercept. It's worth more points to kill them with boulders than to simply kill them with your air pump, but it can be done either way. Ooh. Shouldn't have let that happen. We can see you start with, it looks like 3 to 5 different lives, so have some minor room for error here, if not much. Darn it. Guys can probably tell I'm not the best at this game by far, but that should not have happened. Okay, that's just too... I know how to play the game some, so don't know why I'm running into a little trouble like this. Must just not be my Sunday morning as much as I would like for it to be right now. But we'll get right in a sec. Not really all that tough to do once you kind of figure this out some. Yeah, I know what you're going to try to do. You're going to try to get away. Not happening. There we go. 1,850 points. See if I can get the screen 2 figured out without having to have a major pain about it all. Got you, Figar. Oops. Yes, come, come. Come to be destroyed. Oh, no, you don't. There we go. That's a much better little game through here. The game basically, as far as I understand it, was about 99% or so completed, so it's actually in there on that level where it was very well close enough to being ready for release that should have happened, you know, but it just didn't. Come, Figar. Come to perish. There we go. Now we're kind of getting into a groove with it. Took me a bit. But such will happen sometimes. Darn. Kind of overestimated my own capabilities with that one, I guess you could say. Oh no, you're not killing me. Ha! Ooh. Not so easy to kill as you dum-dums thought. Uh-oh. Darn. Let's see, we're on what, round 5 here now, so kind of makes sense that it would get a bit tougher. Bye, Figar. Ha! New boy. Now they just made that too easy. No, you don't. Darn. Got away. Oh well. Win some, lose some. Yes, come to die. Darn. And apparently I earned an extra life. I guess you do around 10,000 points like you do in a lot of other games, but, darn. And there's the game over. Well, I think you guys kind of get the idea of the gameplay by now. It looks good, sounds pretty good. Obviously, it has the ColecoVision's color palette, which is not surprising, but, you know, pretty decent. Okay, so that was Dig Dug, a 1983 prototype from Atari Soft for the ColecoVision, which should have been released in '84. Again, it probably wasn't because of the '83 North American industry and market crash, and probably Coleco letting it be known that they were getting out of the business, maybe sometime in '84, I believe. Is it pretty good? I think so, yeah. It does, as I was mentioning, uses the ColecoVision's color palette, which makes it look a little bit different, but that's not a really huge drawback. That's actually pretty okay to me. Some things just had to be done, you know, certain ways with certain consoles and computers, such. I think it looks and plays very well for a prototype, and I'd say you guys should probably check it out if you get a chance. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure where you would look, as I didn't get a chance to look into it too much, but there probably are reproduction cartridges made of this game if you were to, say, want to get it that way. And it probably is also available as a digital download of the game ROM many places. As one of my other subscribers had pointed out, for especially an old prototype which was a property of Atari Soft, or any of them really, more than likely it should be a free digital download, you know, as more than likely the intellectual property rights to it are probably still with the current iteration of Atari, who would more than likely still have the intellectual property rights to everything that was done under Atari Soft also, so yeah, it should probably be found as a free digital download, and there are probably multiple sources where you can find that. The person who helped me put together this collection for my ColecoVision Phoenix found it easy, so I don't know where they did that, because I didn't ask. Anyway, it probably is out there if you want to try to find it and give it a shot. Though I haven't looked into it, don't know exactly where all you can find it. Do a browser search. They're probably out there many places. Anyway, I do have a couple of recommendations and links for you guys. One from New Coleco and one from 65 Gamer Guy. They both have some pretty nice looks into this one. I should mention here that with my wardrobe choice and all, Arcade USA, I kind of chose because I didn't want to wear my ColecoVision shirt since the ColecoVision Original Library View is upcoming. And I'd already done my Brian's Man Cave one, which I know he does ColecoVision stuff too. And maybe could have done, say, either TJ Ferreira or Papa Pete, the Old Guy Gamer, as I know Papa Pete does have an affinity for the ColecoVision, but I don't know that he has any video content featuring it, at least none that I've seen yet. And I don't know about that either with TJ Ferreira, so I just decided to go ahead and do the Arcade USA because I know Willie and Arcade USA do some ColecoVision. Though, unfortunately, as far as I could find, they haven't done any videos covering this particular prototype game, so I don't have a recommendation and link for it on this one. It's really just a wardrobe choice here, so for Willie and Arcade USA, have to give y'all a sorry, Atari, on this one. No real pun intended. Well, okay, pun intended to a degree, but not really meant to be a mean or, insulting pun. Anyway, you guys go ahead and keep your eyes peeled as the ColecoVision Original Library View should be coming up this coming Wednesday. I will have an announcement post here, excuse me, on YouTube, as well as on Facebook and Twitter at my accounts. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I've got a pretty good idea which one it's going to be, but you guys know me, there are no real spoilers unless I really want to give one. So just keep your eyes peeled for the announcement post and you'll find out that way. And a big shout out to both my ColecoVision and Adam Facebook Fanatics Facebook group and my ColecoVision World Facebook group. Love you guys over there, and hopefully y'all will get this video, review video before too terribly long this morning. Fortunately, the weather here has cleared up more since Thursday, so and through to today, so hopefully it shouldn't take nearly as long as it has on some occasions. Sometimes that bad weather just interferes with that signal, and I can't get it to upload that fast. Anyhow, just a second. Apparently I must need to put some more batteries in my, the backlight for this thing, as, it's getting a bit, how do you say, it's gotten to be just a bit dim here. Oh well, I'll look into doing it in a bit. Just noticed that. Anyway, if you enjoy my channel's content, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And please don't hesitate to leave any questions, comments, or suggestions down in the comments section below. You guys take care, have a wonderful Sunday, and hopefully I will see everyone back here again on this coming Wednesday.